What up, guys? We got some big daddy changes coming today. Well, not today, but on 26th of July, some big changes coming to the Contest of Champions. And the main one for me is they're removing perfect block from the game, which I think not good at all. From any kind of perspective you look at it, doesn't really make sense apart from making more money on potions. That's pretty much it. Perfect block kind of revolves around the highest tier of gameplay, and it's when you can play the game pretty much perfectly, that you take no damage and that you can go infinitely, which I believe, is pretty much the way it should be, especially when it comes to competitive stuff like Alliance Quest. And I would maybe argue against it, and the perfect block didn't need to exist in a world where potions didn't exist, Alliance potions. However, like, it's just like you're going to be able to play to a certain level, but you're still going to take that bit of block damage. You're just being chipped and chipped away. So literally, like, Alliance Quest outcomes by all these perfect tier players, people who can play absolutely flawlessly, and there are quite a lot of them. It's just going to be decided by who can buy the most amount of Alliance potions. Like, that's what perfect block is. And the kind of reasoning they've used to do this is they said that the contest has been dominated by these perfect block teams, and the solution is they're removing perfect block altogether. And I don't think this is really right. I think what they should have done instead is said, okay, we recognize that everybody loves perfect block, and it's actually something that's needed in Alliance Quest because you take so much damage while blocking. How about we give every champion base a perfect block? That would be incredible. All champions suddenly viable. Amazing. You know what? Kabam, if you want to hire me, CV, send it across. Well, send me an email. I'll shoot you my CV back. But yeah, that's definitely the route that I would have gone down instead of removing perfect block. Also, just a bit of a pain in the ass for anybody that has not yet completed the Realm of Legends. That is a bit of a shaft up your rear end. Not good. So yeah, like, didn't think that was a great solution at all. It's just meh. And the next one, so Willpower. I kind of think Willpower, this one, I'm gonna argue a bit for it, and it's in the right direction, because I feel like with Willpower existing in the game in the current state that it is, it really limited the kind of design of champions. You couldn't have too many debuffs, or if you did introduce new characters with debuffs, which is, essentially how you're going to make the game more exciting, by adding in all these, like, new fun mechanics. Like, stuff is just going to instantly be shelved and really limits the design space that you have there. Or in a case like with a champion like Yellow Jacket, you add a debuff to the game that doesn't trigger Willpower, and then you have kind of more scenarios of this inconsistency, between kind of like newer players of the game. So yeah, it's a bit difficult. I'm still a bit torn on the Willpower one. I think it's really good for people who play Arena regularly. Going to make the grinding of that a lot easier, and also makes a lot of your roster more valuable. It's still going to be a massive boost to have, I believe, in Alliance Wars. Like, even the tiniest tick. It's been nerfed from 1.5% to 0.7, and also Willpower now only triggers for one type of buff, so it's only gonna, instead of triggering like 5 times if you have 5 stacks of bleed, if you have 5 stacks of bleed, it's only gonna trigger once. So, like, it's really weak now, just in kind of like arena and general game combat. Still, like, alright, but again, pretty damn weak. But yeah, in Alliance Wars on your defender nodes, it's still going to be good. It's still going to be something that's used. There's also, what is it? This new mastery called Despair, which, to be honest, like, I think maybe could have also alternately been the solution to Willpower at the moment. So debuffs applied to enemies reduce their healing and regeneration by 15% each. I don't know if that's per stack. Doesn't really explain it too well here. To be honest, like, I don't think the information for this was the way they handled, like, the announcement of this is really choppy. Like, they put this out, on the forums, the one in game's like slightly different, and then it took a few hours for them to come out with the exact details. They kind of needed just one huge thread that had all of the information a bit more clearly explained. I mean, some of the stuff is like, it's okay, but it doesn't explain all the scenarios, which, you know, with a huge change like this, we as the players definitely want to, you know, understand the best we can, so we can digest this information. So yeah, Willpower, I think it's a step in the right direction. But again, like, it's encouraging, especially for people who are going through Act 4 at the moment. It sucks because Act 4 was designed around Willpower, especially with a lot of the 2 debuff nodes. Like, you really kind of need that to, well, having Willpower makes it so much easier. So again, it's going to be a bit of a big shaft to players that haven't yet done Act 4. The next change, of course, is that you cannot parry specials now, and it won't stun the opponent. That's really disappointing. Parrying specials is really hard to do. Even some of the best players, I don't think, can do it consistently. So when you did it, it was probably one of the most badass feelings in the world, and I'm upset that you do not have that feeling anymore. That's just a bit of nerf to the fun and skill in combat, so not a fan of that. One of the things also coming with a perfect block team is that basically a lot of people obviously have invested a lot of, you know, catalysts and ISO and basically everything you need to level up. What is it? The perfect block champions like Cyclops and Magneto that without perfect block aren't actually very good. So a lot of people are really salty about that, and I can totally get why, because it takes so long to get a champion up to like 440 and then 550, which a lot of the top tier players have. And the solution that's been proposed is that you can sell that champion, you can sell it, and then you get all the catalysts back, but you don't get the champion back. So like, it's a really crappy suggestion. I don't really get why they're doing it. There's surely got to be an alternate way around, like a one-time sale, or you get some sort of token where you can use to buy the base champion again. I can kind of see how that might be open to exploits, but this is not a solution, you know. Kabam, you need to think of something a bit more savvy than this, because like selling something like a Cyclops that you've taken all the way through, you know, you've done Realm of Legends to get it, and then you've maybe done Act 4 to awaken it, and now that Cyclops is pretty garbage, and now your only option is to sell it. Like, that's not a very good option. So yeah, not really too impressed with that. So yeah, all in all, it's a bit of a really disappointing patch. I mean, I kind of agree with the change in Willpower. However, as many people have mentioned, it's a really bait and switch scenario where, you know, a lot of people have maybe like chucked down like 50-60 quid to get that mastery quite quickly, and now they're being told that it's useless and you're just going to get an in-game refund of the units, which people, you know, didn't really want. They want this OP mastery. So I can kind of understand from that perspective, but in the wider design point, I feel like the Willpower nerf is good for the game and does allow, you know, the developers to explore a lot more when it comes to creating new champions with the debuffs that they can do, and not having to constantly worry about designing a champion around Willpower. I feel like in the design space that's really just annoying, and I get why this change is made, but perfect block teams, don't understand that at all. Like, that is just like, buy more potions. That's pretty much it. So guys, that is my my quick view on the perfect block and the Willpower changes. Like, it's a bit of a sad day. Like, it just feels like the skill cap from the game, you know, they're reducing it a bit and adding a bit more for the people who do have, you know, the kind of money to spend. Like, that's, you know, what is essentially going to make the difference in the top tier. Sorry guys, I was a bit lost for the word there. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video. Like, it's not too much of a happy day, but we're going to soldier onward and upward. We're going to keep on playing the game, see what happens. Stuff might change in the future. Gonna have to play the patch on July 26th, see how stuff is going and doing, and how the game is to play. There might be more changes made to this. I mean, if we keep on providing our feedback, One thing I'd love to see is just like perfect block on every champion, or again like a mastery, like, you know, the one that you have at the moment that gets you 8% perfect block. Just that maybe being jacked up a bit more to give all of your champions perfect block, and then we don't need to worry about that, and the game is purely decided on skill and not who has the biggest wallet and can buy the most alliance potions. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. Have an absolutely fantastic day. If you'd like to see some more, maybe a more positive Marvel Contest of Champions content in the future, and some character gameplays, reviews, guides, and all that fun stuff, feel free to hit the subscribe button down below. Apart from that, take care and have an absolutely fantastic day.